Islington Council and Joju Charging, working together for a cleaner, greener, healthier Islington.
In 2019, Islington declared a climate emergency. On that basis, we decided we needed to remove all of our CO2 from our borough-wide fleet. We carried out a full feasibility assessment of this site, the WRC, which looked at how we would increase the power to the site, bring in a new HV connection from across the road on Caledonia Road Station, and put in EV chargers to power the entire electric fleet that we look to bring in over 10 years.
This project is hugely important. We know we have to decarbonise, electrify our fleet because of the climate crisis, and also we have a very big air pollution problem in London. We've been putting in electric charging, rapid charging for those HGVs, those waste trucks that you'll be seeing around the borough. But in order to do that, we've had to upgrade the power system.
The substation was to support the increased capacity to the entire building. This uprated the building's capacity from 1,250 kVA to 3,250. This was to enable the full rollout of EVCPs across the entire WRC building. One of the challenges that we will face in the future is in managing the amount of load that the building can draw at any one time, in which case we're going to look at innovative smart charging and load management systems so that we can effectively charge all of the vehicles when we need to.
We arrived at site to install some electric vehicle chargers for Islington Council. Working with the project manager and working alongside the design team, we came up with a plan of works of how we were going to get these electric vehicle chargers installed. With the design team, it was really easy for us to actually make a plan of calling them zones, for example. So we had a zone A, a zone B, C, etc. Unless you've been in an environment like this where you've got vehicle movement consistently, sort of 24 hours a day, for us to be able to break it down to those zones, cut bays off, put barriers in front of the bays, and absolutely, shut them down so that we could do our works. When we arrived, we were greeted with the MCCB panels that our design team had designed distribution boards which were suited to come off of this MCCB panel for us to then downgrade effectively the ratings of the current to go to our electric vehicle chargers.
Due to the nature of the WRC with compact parking and limited space for parking, we've had to install the C-Series here, which is like a power pack for the S-Series, which is a satellite unit which is fed from this for DC charging. The satellites are quite nimble and tight units which sit in like a small space, and then they are on dynamic charging, and their capacity of 160 kilowatts per charger, but then obviously once one charger goes in, a second one goes in, that reduces down to 80 kilowatts per charger. Obviously maximise charging if there's only one vehicle parked in and charging it at the time. You maximise the power coming from this DC unit. Feeding here from the main panel, feeding from the isolators. As you can see, all the cable, the containment going into this, it's a lot of intricate infrastructure going in for the cables, which is obviously AC going in to the DC charger, feeding the satellites.
So this is a slimline chem power that Islington decided to go for. It's supported by a C-Series. One of the reasons why we wanted to go with this in the first place was the WRC being in the basement. We are limited to spaces. As you can see, it's a lot easier and fits between bays, clearly supporting the EV charging. Each S-Series that we have, it's supported by a single C-Series. We have about 8 of these, all scattered around the WRC area. I think having rapid chargers is definitely crucial in any electric vehicle charge point infrastructure upgrade.
This is one of the S-Series on site at Islington. The challenge we had was space, so this unit's really handy because the footprint's the size of an A4 sheet of paper, which has enabled us to install it behind the pillar, giving it some impact protection from vehicles here.
Another issue was the basement is limited in terms of Wi-Fi connectivity. Connecting to the main Islington network was a problem.
Certain areas have got different black spots, especially being in a basement. So we found a central location where we put our router, and from there we've then had to run additional cables at shorter routes in order to ensure that We're not going over the limits on what the data can carry.
So we're here at Islington looking at the car chargers that we've been installing on site. This is a single 22 kilowatt unit here, which we've installed on the back of the pillar for this bay here. Our containment runs up and over and then back over to distribution equipment over there, and the cable will drop down the pillar and feed into the bottom of this unit. This is our main containment run for the chargers in the central bays. This tray work goes all the way to the far wall where our distribution equipment will be mounted. So these are the twin 22 kilowatts untethered units, which basically means that they've got no cable attached to the units itself, and then you use the vehicle charging lead to plug in here to charge your vehicle. These are the main panel boards that we'll be connecting our distribution board equipment into. We're going to be mounting our own distribution equipment there for our localised cabling, and then running one cable between to the panel board to power it. So we're just going to be installing one of the dual 22 kilowatt units here. We've made some bracketry up to support the unit on the column.
This video has been brought to you by Islington Council in collaboration with Joju Charging.